If there are no questions, you can talk about some of the old sadhus who inspired you.
Just talking that in the noontime also.
Ah. You spoke a little about Ramesh Maharaj.
Yeah, a little bit.
Last night.
Last night.
Noontime also I did that. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Pada Padme Tayosritva Pranamami Mahurmahum. So you have any question? Then we can start there.
How to get rid of attachments?
Ah.
That's really my problem.
Yeah.
Particularly with children.
Ah.
My daughter.
Oh, that's she's your daughter.
She's good.
How old?
She is 21.
Sorry.
So what to say? These Swamis, sadhus whom we see, we are talking about that. They're the examples of attachment and non-attachment. How to detach. If we look at their life, they have not attached, no attachment, but love is so intense. That is the what is the secret? There is the secret. They, as if so you'll find that that's a funny thing about the Ramakrishna sadhus. When you go and stay with them, and you feel so much, and they leave, finish. In Belur Math also we saw some sadhus, and if you don't come and you don't see them, hey, Shivu, better you end, last seat. Ah. Then no, everyone will be able to.
On the
Okay.
first seat. Front.
So that is the uniqueness of this uh, spiritual life. That how we can. This is lifelong practice. Love should be there, but attachment should be not. That is the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita and all the scriptures. So when we go to the sadhus, we found at least Swami Premishananda Maharaj, Swami Devesh Maharaj, what is his name? Swami Somananda Maharaj, who were very trained under Swami Premishananda, Gopesh Maharaj, staying with even other Swamis, very close.
Shomanandaji Maharaj was the one that our Border Maharaj used to visit every day.
In the early days, that is the Somananda.
When he was in college.
Yeah. Devesh Maharaj, he was also the Somananda Maharaj and Devesh Maharaj, they almost look the same, alike. They look alike. If you change, very difficult to distinguish who is what. And he stayed in Saradapit one time for 1 month. Just with a great inspiration. So, but this when we are there, they're talking so freely and they're so joyful, cheerful, as if he's thinking of you and I don't come, I don't see you, this, that. And then when they go back, finish. I think they have practiced. That is the spontaneous detachment. Not even if you communicate, again, write a letter, you will find the sweetest letter. Sweetest language, and they feel that I pray for you, this, that. But apparently, it seems that they have learned that art of detaching. So, what happens with our own people like daughter, son? We have expectation. We have expectation that he or she will be behaving this way, doing this way, man, go this way. These are the values that should be taken. But when it does not happen, then we get upset. and then we try to correct, and that is we show that it's our love because we want good for them. But we will have to, at one point we will have to say, okay, this is my expectation, but God knows what should be the right thing. And at that particular state of mind, whatever God wants to guide them, he is guided by that. So it does not belong to me, it belongs to God. So this type of feeling should be again, and I know whole Gita talks about that detachment issue. But then what I was going to say that this Swamis, many of the Swamis I have seen, apparently say the uh, when you go before them, you think that they are overflowing love for us, and even you feel that you are feeling some what you call some suffering or separation. For this separation, you feel something. So I told the other day that Swami Premishananda Maharaj, when I went to him first, I was a young boy and finished my BSc examination. So there is a gap till the result comes out. So we planned that I'll go to visit Darjeeling. That was my uh, intention and everything planned. And suddenly one Swami said, "Hey, what are you doing now? You have enough time. What will you do?" I said, "Maharaj, I'm going to go to Darjeeling." They said, "No, no, no, no. You go to Swami Premishananda." I said, "Premishananda, the old man, what shall I do with him?" So he said, "No, no, no. You don't understand. He's mother's disciple, this, that, and all this inspirational thing about him. He's composed this Arupa Shayari, this, that, Mahapurush Maharaj, Raja Maharaj, all these stories, whatever he gave. But my heart is still for Darjeeling." Then he said, "You fool, you do not know your Darjeeling will remain all your life. But Swami Premeshananda will not get it. If you don't miss this chance, you will not get him. How long he is in the world, who knows this special opportunity." So anyhow, we compromised our vacation and went to Sargachi, and
By,
so
by yourself, Maharaj?
I went alone first time. And Sanatan Maharaj, that now our Vice President Maharaj, he was the principal seva attendant. And it's the same Sargachi you have visited probably. In the early days, I'm talking about that was 1960. So naturally, so many years, over 6 decades now. So it was more rural. So the night train arrived at odd hours in the early morning. So where to go with a lantern, someone will have come and receive you. There is no platform, you have to go down like that. So anyhow, but Maharaj was awake at that time. And then I saluted and he uh, touched my head and blessed and go and take rest like that. It didn't impress me very much. The old man lying down, that we want young boys like young people, fiery people who speak very strongly and powerfully about Vivekananda, this, that. But anyhow, so by staying continuously, I'm serving him little bit, whatever necessary. When Swami Shuitanandaji is no there or asked me to do this for Swami, and that was the way. And the major work was that he would have very sensitive skin, and as we call it, allergy, he will have allergy. He is in the room, but if in the sky there is little cloud, he starts itching sensation will start in his body. So we don't find the reason why it is, but it's called the allergy. So that time we have to rub little bit softly, and his skin is very delicate, soft, and anyhow, and sometimes to and being with him, that is a training to be with a sadhu. You cannot just do stay there for just for fun. I'm sitting and I'll do something when he will call me. You have to read the gospel. That is the one task. Whenever there is an opportunity, you have to read that gospel or Holy Mother's gospel or the Bhagavad Gita. You have to chant and memorize. That's another task. So, and then in between that, whatever personal service necessary, you will do. So, doing this, when I almost finished my days of stay over there, I have not much many spiritual questions to ask anything. But he used to talk more letter writing and this and that sometimes. That was he whatever he says who is to do. But when I came back, really I do not know what he did. My mind was actually little feeling little sad to leave him. And then when I came back, then really I felt so sad that I wrote a letter that Maharaj, this was a blessed opportunity. Post probably I don't understand anything more, but really my heart is feeling sad because of leaving and came to come back to my home again. Then he also very lovingly wrote a letter that বড়র জন্য ছোটর যেমন মন কেমন করে, হ্যাঁ, ছোটর জন্য বড়রও মন তেমন কেমন করে. একটা রবীন্দ্রনাথ quotation he gave. I forgot that quotation. Rabindranath in some of his composition, somewhere he has written the same word. He quoted that. It is equally true. You need not have to think that your mind is feeling a little bit sad because of this separation, but our mind is also thinking. That means he is also. That is the love. You see, that's an unseen love. An old man, nothing attractive, but their spirituality, their purity, that has an subtle, deep impact. And it now even I remember, see, it gives me joy to feel that. That is the unconditional love we call about, and that is only have possible when a person is spiritually developed, highly developed. They love, but there is no outward expression of that love so much, and also as if it is a spontaneous, normal thing. But the deep love can be felt, and that can purify our heart also. So, this is the way detachment they practice. They love in equally because they see something not as we look at every human being as a person, but something probably by because of their experience and illumination, they see something else. So, Vishuddhananda Swami, I talked about the other day. So Vishuddhananda Swami, I used to inquire occasionally because we used to frequently visit and go in the afternoon. When in Belur Math, he will be sitting on the Swamiji's veranda. That means the Swamiji's room in front of the veranda facing the Ganga. And he will sit at the end, and people will come and just pranam and sit down, and he will be speaking about gospel or any question, or if no question, he will speak continuously about gospel and its importance and its teachings like that. So
He was vice president then?
he was the vice president that time. So actually, his personality was so much. It's like a mother. Sankarananda Swami was like a father, strong, and there's no smile as it was. There is no. You dare not to speak anything there. But Visuddhananda Swami, anyone can go like a mother, and you can put any question, and he is very open, and he will be. But these are the two different aspects of the same sadhu life. But the attraction, there is a deep attraction behind, because their love is unconditional. I think we do not know that unconditional love. Our love is conditioned. All our love is on my condition. Normally, human normally love is love on my condition. I love you so long you fulfill my conditions. So if that is not done, then I may not be able to appreciate you or even appreciate your actions or your everyday dealing. No, there comes anger, there comes frustration, there comes separation. So how this sadhus live their whole life, and detachment comes spontaneously to them. They don't feel attached spontaneously because they love God. And God is everywhere. So there is no special place to find the love of God for them, those who are advanced. For us, it is because where we find a little better expression of love, we move that side. But for them, if they see the love is the behind, God is behind everyone, that's why they become unselfish or their love becomes spontaneous. So what else we can? Ah, Swami Shankarananda. So he used to go around the Belur monastery and was we used to look after everything with very critical eye. Anyone doing anything not right, he will correct and he will. So two stories. One story, I mean, this is the old story. What no new, nothing new. I have told maybe before. So he used to, after a morning walk, he used to sit in the old mission office, the stairs to get into the first floor where Bhuteshananda Maharaj used to sit in the bench. So Swami used to come and sit on the lower steps, cement steps. And seeing him, some bhakta coming and going and tried to salute. And if it's too much bending down or lying down, বড় ভক্তি দেখানো হচ্ছে, too much devotion, show of devotion. So you will be careful about that second time. And then say, as we go to the sadhus, what do we say when you go to the sadhus? In Himalayas, you go, Swami kuch to bataiye. Huh? Please tell me something spiritual. Then he used to say, someone came and said, Maharaj, please tell us something. Then first, sometimes he used to say, have you read the Gospel of Ramakrishna? And naturally the Bhakta will say, yes, I have read. You don't find the solution of your question in the Gospel. And you want me to solve your question. Go and read Gospel. That's the response. And another time, it will be there. He's in the afternoon, maybe sitting like that, and some devotee come and ask for some response. Then he will say, oh, you want to listen to your some spiritual talk? Go there, and there is a Kolergan. What is called Kolergan? Gramophone record. There is a record player always going on there. And he pointed out to Swami Vishuddhananda. And this Bhakta just did pranam and went to Vishuddhananda Maharaj. And just went there. And Vishuddhananda is like mother. So everyone feels free to talk. But then he said, Maharaj, I went to that Swami, and he was very grave, and he said that I asked for some questions, but he said that you want to listen to the question, a response, go. There is a constant record player who is being played there. And then he also laughed. Oh, it should be Shankarananda Maharaj. He makes fun of me like that because he constantly talks about God, whether you ask or not. And if you ask him, he will say, read Gospel. Read Gospel, that is a common response. And you can find all your replies of all your spiritual question. Response is there. So but they don't find bad. But Visuddhananda Swami used to relish that response that the Sankarananda Maharaj saying that there is record player going on constantly. We would have been feeling wounded, no? But they laughed at that. Oh, it is Maharaj is like that. So, and there's one or two stories, old stories. Swami Shankarananda Maharaj used to go early morning to go around. I have seen Bharat Maharaj like that. Bharat Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, okay, let me finish Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was the manager for Belur Math, are trained under Maharaj and Baburam Maharaj. And Baburam Maharaj, and that's why he was vigilant about whatever goes everywhere. And so but he is an Advaita. He has his one great experience in Mayavati, a non-dual experience or something. So he will go supervise everything, go to the temple, big our original big temple in what is called Ramakrishna temple, and go to Mother's temple. But he will not salute. Is very, very special. No, sometimes I used to mm, be walking with him, and I see that he goes and sees something in the putting the flowers or doing something, little something. He'll ask me, go, call the pujari, Sulabhananda, that time Sulabhananda Swami, and then Nuni Gopal. So all those sadhu, and then will instruct why this, why that. And his sharp eye, so details, but he will not go to salute. So this is the way Bharat Maharaj used to go around and see everything, but this is a specialty. He used to see the divine everywhere, probably. That was his experience. That's why the formal salutation was not found in his day-to-day behavior. Shankarananda Maharaj used to, in the early morning, he will have they go around all and around the campus, and there are cow shed, the cows. That was also very uh, great, important part of the Belun Math. So he used to inquire about the name of each cow has a name. Of course, early days people used to keep names at their home, but Belur Math also had their cow's name. And they used to go and inquire what is going on with this cow, this, that. And then he came and then came to the kitchen side, and he saw that the some brahmachari, as is our habit, open the faucet and brushing like that. And water is flowing continuously. Normally, we don't pay much attention to that. And then, first seeing from a distance, he is in a grave voice, "Oh hey, Brahmachari, মুখ ধুতে তোমার কত জল লাগে?" And oh my God, hearing that, he got so nervous. It's such a personality and talking like that. It is that type of awareness, alertness. One day he came to the kitchen and he used to see everything. That's why everyone is alert. They were perfection. They were perfection. They learned their perfection with Raja Maharaj and others. They have built up their life and they wanted that perfections to continue. So, so he came to the kitchen, and naturally people have that peeling off of the potatoes and vegetables, no? As we do here. 50% of it's gone with the skin. Now they have got good argument because it is spray is there. That's why we are cutting. They are not saying that I cannot take out the skin only. It's a laborious work or attention needed. But if we just chop, and 50% of the material, flesh, also goes with the skin. And something happened like that. The peeling the potatoes, the sadhus do, and because those days there was no other paid people to help. So sadhus used to cook, and then he saw he has a big stick, He is a tall person. So he saw and then pile of those. He's seeing how the peeling has been done. And then he said, okay, why so much wastage? And they asked that entire peeled up the items take in his room. The president of Belur Math is interested in taking those peeled up vegetables and took him in his room. And he said, who have cut these vegetables today? That is saying now everyone is thinking it will go to scolding, will come to this person or that person like that. Then he went and then he took a knife. President at his old age, he took a knife and how difficult you can imagine, and peeled off potato, taking out the skin, whatever the place is there, to preserve that. And he did that with so much attention as if he is meditating. And after that, he said, I will cook. There is a small kitchen, Khoka Maharaj's place that time. That room, there was a cooking space. So he went there and cooked it, and a plate was offered to Thakur. And then Bhandari was called, who has cooked, who has done this type of. Why you don't look after? Huh? This is the way to do Thakur's work. So you see, very minute details. Every day after Thakur's prasad is offered, Thakur is offered lunch and supper in Belur Math, they do. And after that, it was a custom. Nowadays, this custom is gone because many Belur Math has become so big. Every day, what is offered to Thakur, little of every item should be given to the president. And then he knows what is going on, what is Thakur is getting. So everyone is aware that whether done correctly or it is any mistake. So one day, the Bhandari was called. Bhandari was called, and Bhandari said, why there was little spice more in this cooked item. It is a jhal, like it's jhal. Little more, too hot, heat. And he took and said, then he called the Bhandari. Everything goes to Bhandari. Had a cooked, but Bhandari supervised. He didn't put the spice, but he got a good scolding. He said, don't you know Thakur could not eat such spicy thing? His stomach was such. So be careful. Let it not happen second time. But a second time also, another second time happened. And then second time came. Then it was a really serious thing that day. He warned second time also, another happened. He did the Bhandari says, Maharaj, I will pay more attention. It is inadvertently done. The cook did that. I told him, no, cook did not. It is you. You are there. It is Thakur's. You are looking after his service. What you are feeding him with this type of thing. So it is a living presence. That giving one concept is the living presence of Sri Ramakrishna. You are not just cooking for our taste, but it is for him. That's one great idea. And that should be perfect. What is to be given to Thakur should be perfect. And third time it became such serious. Again something happened. And then he said, today either I will be here in the Belur Math or you will be here. I told you 2 times before, this is the 3rd time. Then he fell at the feet and said, begging, Maharaj, please excuse me. It is, I will be more vigilant. I am trying, but it didn't happen. Sorry. So it seems that how they used to see the things in a different way and how they are so particular about the service of Thakur. Mahapurush Maharaj used to say that if anything going on wrong at Belur Math or anything, Thakur Seva, the service to Thakur is not something wrong is going on there. It was he used to alert everyone like that. This pan, Thakur is offered pan, and that pan should go to the president. But knowing the nature of President Maharaj, all these things will go, and Noni Gopal Maharaj or Kalipada Maharaj, they are the attendants, they will recheck, open the pan, and check if it is perfectly done or not. If not, they will try to brush out something or add something, those additional over. But Maharaj does not know that it is done. And if anything spice goes, then again Bhandari will be called. And who has a Bhandari? That not that Bhandari, because that is not a cooking department. It is the Bhandari of the Puja Bhandar. So, so these are attention so meticulously. They used to look after everything as Thakur's Sangha, Thakur's Seva, Thakur's service.
Bhandari was a monk.
Yeah.
Prabodh Maharaj, no, this Maharaj was Prabodh Maharaj.
No, he's asking, was it a monk? He
Yeah,
said,
he's a
yeah.
monk too. Okay.
Yeah. Bhandari is also a monk.
Also a monk. The cook is only was there from the beginning. Even Baranagar monastery, they could not provide, but afterwards Belur Math, they have to provide one cook or something.
Maharaj, have you heard anything about this Advaitic experience that Bharat Maharaj had?
Yeah, I didn't hear much, but this much I know. It is our Govinda Maharaj. You all know Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj was also, you know, who was in Atpur. That Govinda Maharaj. Very loving and service oriented, will serve everyone. Yeah, he will be with a kettle of tea prepared and some snacks in the early morning in Nagpur and knock at the door of everyone, bed tea. And he knocks at the door of the drivers. Drivers got so angry because they are sleeping at that time. And then they open out, why are you here to bring? It is bed tea for you. You are such a loving person. He used to do. He was there, and President Maharaj, Bideswarananda Maharaj, and the tall another attendant Swami who was a pilot or something like what is the name? Tall Swami,
Vrindavan.
eh? Attendant of Swami
Somnath
Somnath Maharaj, the tall Somnath Maharaj. So they were in Kedarnath. So all of them, President Maharaj went and he also went, and together they had darshan, first vision, then came, and he was in the early morning, evening, he was leaning on to the veranda, Bharat Maharaj.
President Maharaj was who?
President Maharaj was there, but he is in his
No,
room.
President Maharaj.
Bireshwara.
Bireshwara.
And then the Somnath Maharaj suddenly have just passing him by the side of Bharat Maharaj, and he's saying, where are you going? In the morning, so he says, Maharaj, I'm going to see Kedarnath, Shiv Thakur, the Shivji, Kedarnath. Oh, is it Kedarnath in the shrine only? It's not this. Looking at the vast range of the Himalayan range, are not this your Kedarnath Shiva? Your Shiva is only there. This spontaneous expression, Govinda Maharaj told me, he was standing nearby and he said that is the Bharat Maharaj that they showed, that his concept of Shiva. Shiva inside the temple, but he is everywhere to see. I think that was his experience, that he has some experience. I do not know what is that experience, but whole life he never did so-called ritualistic salutation. But if this vision is there, then you see Shiva everywhere, so you need not have to go to the temple to do salute. So that's a very exceptional example Bharat Maharaj's example is very exceptional example. But that was accepted by the whole order. This is not a matter of joke. Uh, so,
I don't know, but to me, I don't know whether I should say
yes,
out here.
say.
But he used to hunt deer
Ah,
in Mayavati.
that's okay.
How
If
it
you
is
say,
okay, it is
yeah,
a harmless creature.
no, it is two moods. Ramakrishna in one mood is saying, kill this bug to him, and he didn't kill and he was scolded.
Yeah, that is because it was an obstacle to my spiritual
No,
practice.
no, no, that's not the point. That is, if you see God, that's a God. How can you kill it? But in another mood, we read the other day, someone pulling one piece of wood over the grasses and he's crying that. It's a different level of mood in which mind floats. Maybe I don't think that he's always, Holy Mother even said, do you remember your real nature all the time? Because in this level of duality, mind sometimes stays in one that mood which she was seeing that way, then you cannot see any fault in any other. Uh, he will be sitting in the office. I was writing later, and through the window his eye was so sharp. Where in the Bhandari, there's circumambulation going on, and someone is talking. One sadhu or brahmachari was talking. It is evening after Arati. He called. I didn't understand. He asked his attendant like that. And he very few words comes out of his mouth, and they understand what is. And he went and then brought that who was standing and talking. You get a good scolding. This is the evening time. Arati Bapu is over. Why are you doing that? So yes, it is. If we see that, they cannot run any administration, and they have taken some strong actions also. I think in different mental level. Maybe that's my reconciliation. Who sees God in everyone? Holy Mother, no. See, Mother, uh, she feeling that for Thakur was to cook some fish, no? And Mother was feeling, how shall I kill them? And then Thakur said, this for me, can you not do that? See, the same Mother is doing purpose. Yes, there is a purpose. In this relative world, so long they live, probably they live with their other state of mind has floating in different levels. I think that is the reason probably.
Well, Swami Brahmananda also used to do fishing, and then he used to hide the sheep and everything. He used to go, barehanded, so that they would not know that he's going there to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brahmananda ji didn't have any problem making pranam to Thakur.
Oh,
Yeah. No, even I see that parallelly, there is Swami Bireshwarananda ji also going. He is going to the temple. He said they're equally Brahmogyanis. So it is very difficult to say how I what. But it's an exceptional. Yeah, we in our order we don't find such more examples. A very exceptional example. And everyone respected him so much. We used to call he never became the president, but he's the maker of precedents. And his words are so valuable, and he knows the Sangha in such intensity, and all the devotees he knew. And if they go, they know grandfather, grandson, granddaughter, like that whole family history they know. And that's why when he passed away, it was or before when he was off from his activity, uh, that is a big break in the link with the devotees. Jyoti Basu's Ma used to come, mother used to come, Anand Bajar's, all these big guys used to come, all big military officer. Indira Gandhi used to. So one story is there. Indira Gandhi has come. So he was sitting in his office, and one big officer has come, and he entered into Swami's room and said, "Indira Gandhi, yes, now the plane has land, the helicopter is landing." Then he comes and said, "What am I to do?" That means, am I to go run after the helipad to receive it? Or he is in his own dignity. Hey, what am I to do? If they want to come, they will come here. So I saw that. I was sitting in his room, and suddenly everywhere alert, alert, alert. It is evening. She used to come in hiding odd hours so that local fans don't get to know, and in a glass, stained glass car. But how people know as soon as he in the gate when her car is entering, so many people are already gathered around. But anyhow, and when it goes in, and that car used to come to Bharat Maharaj's that close to the courtyard. Mm. And then they are there and they are restricted. But by that time, people came to know that she's already in Bharat Maharaj in Belur Math. And she used to come to get solace in her life from Maharaj. And he's like a father.
Shoma Mukherjee, she is the most famous. She said one day Sudipta Sen called us and okay, let's go to see Bharat Maharaj. She used to come quite often.
Now, all the top people of that era, they were, and they, one unique thing is that Bharat knew their father, their earlier generation. Because in earlier generation, it was very much impacted by Swamiji and Swamiji's impact after Raja Maharaj's impact, Sarvadevananda Swamiji's impact. Those were so deep that those who came in contact, their children were influenced by that. So he used to keep in touch with all, and they used to come to Belur. One story I will tell of Bharat Maharaj, then we can end today. One story is that Bharat Maharaj one day ate, and then Belur Math, the Bhogam is up, and then Prasad Bel Gan, then the first Pangat is over, then second Pangat, those who could not eat. Last third Pangat is who? The cooks and others who have cooked. They have finished. And then everything is, it is to be clean, Belur Math, early days, because it is no leftover food, because it is to be offered to Thakur again. So all fresh cooked food. So what happened? Baburam Maharaj is the manager at that time. And Bharat Maharaj, one day, our devotees are like that. In Calcutta Babus also, they don't care. And suddenly they appear at 1 o'clock. And Baburam Maharaj is so motherly, he will try to feed something, bring something, the fruits and this and that and feed. And a group of and family member came, 3, 4 people, and Baburam Maharaj said, call Bharat. So Bharat Maharaj was called, Bharat came, said, Bharat, these devotees have come from Calcutta, feed them. He said that, no, Maharaj, today is a very bad day because I know I just coming from the kitchen, last drop, as all have been cleaned, and pots and pans are all clean, and there is no stock of food, anything. Nothing, no stock. Baburam Maharaj is scolding. You are manager. And the Thakur's devotees will come now and then, find somewhere. So Maharaj, I know there is no other. And those days, in the noon time, nap time, like Italy, there is no shop you can find. And the shop is not in Belur in early days, this Baburam Maharaj's time, only in Salkia. Salkia is 4 miles you have to walk. And even if you go noontime, all the shopping shop are closed, whether fruits or sweets, everything is closed. So you not that okay, you sit, I go 4 miles quickly running and then come back or send somebody to bring something. That is not. Or you have to go to Baranagar. Even if you go to Baranagar, then the noon time is nap time. So until 4 o'clock or so. So he said, no, you do something. I do something. Then said, Baburama said, is there nothing in the Thakur's bhog? Go and find. Huh? Thakur's bhog, for Thakur what is kept, there should be something in Thakur's special stock. Because 4 o'clock, Thakur needs to be given some sweets and fruits or something. So he said, go and see. So Bharat Maharaj was grumbling inside. My God, Bhakta has come. Bhakta is to be given the fruits and sweets which is meant for Thakur. Yes, really, human emotion. He was really little upset with that. And he went, and Bhandari, those who actually, Pujari, there is 2 keys. One key remains with the Pujari, another key is the manager, Babu Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj went there angrily and just opened it and really found not much. Maybe some sweets and fruits are there which is to be offered for the afternoon when the shrine is open. And now he said, okay, what shall I do? Baburam Maharaj said, okay, he brought out and then did everything to feed the devotees. Devotees were fed. But Baburam Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj was so angry, saying, Thakur's own disciple, Baburam Maharaj, and his love for this devotees are more than that of Thakur. And okay, let us see what happens. And by that time, afternoon, almost puja, the temple is to be open. The pujari came. Pujari suddenly opened in his door and entering to that and doing everything. When he started finding out the sweets and fruits, he escaped. He found everything is gone. Then he was upset. Then he said, who can get this key to get out all these sweets and fruits from here? Only Bharat Maharaj maybe, because he has the only key. So he ran to Bharat Maharaj and he said, what shall I do? Why it is so? Don't ask me. Go to Baburam Maharaj. His love for the devotees are so much that the Thakur will have to, I do not know. I don't tell me anything. And he was angrily walking. Just you can think about the Legate house, that stretch of straight path and the embankment. I do not know whether embankment was there or not. He was walking there angrily and thinking, now what will happen? And actually it happened. Pujari came and complained and he said, pushed it to, but he didn't go to Baburam Maharaj. He said, okay, what shall I do? If it is not there, let me do other job and I will have to say, oh Thakur, there is nothing today. And then Baburam Maharaj was leaning on the veranda, Swamiji's veranda, looking on to the Ganga. And suddenly, just before it is 4 o'clock or just maybe 10 minutes or 10, 15 minutes, maybe little, at that time, one boat arrived and with a huge supply of sweets and fruits and all the things. And then Baburam Maharaj saw from the veranda and Bharat Maharaj was walking angrily. He said, hey Bharat, you are thinking that you feed Thakur. Thakur arranges his own food. Now see, the basket full of sweets and meats. Now go how much you want to feed your Thakur. Go. So this is a great lesson. That's why Bharat Maharaj, I saw in his last part, I used to request him, Maharaj, why are you at this age delaying your lunch? First Pangati is gone, okay. Bhaktos come to see, second Pangati is gone. He will eat, everyone in the balloon mutt is fed and gone. Gate is locked. Bharat Maharaj. Then he will go up and then he will redress himself and get ready for, and someone will, all the food is already cold and someone will have to cook. And later part, that, Babu, what is the Babu? Montu Babu. Montu Babu used to take care, and he's a landlord family person, rich person, but he fell in love with Swamiji, so he used to serve him. But I said, one day I said, why Maharaj, why do you do that? Why don't you eat early? Because you will not need to be waiting for till the 3 o'clock to eat, and then 3 o'clock, 3:30 you eat. Well, then he told me the story, that this is the story, and Baburam Maharaj told me, you are the manager, see that everyone is fed. You will eat and go. That day he ate before. The devotees came later on. And so it is your duty. You're the manager. You cannot eat like in a home. Mother feeds everyone. Mother is the last person, whether food is there or not. That is the reason I cannot do that. That habit has made me do. So it is very personal thing. No one knows their behavior. People will say he does it in his own way, but there is so much internal stories there with Baburam Maharaj and things. One day Baburam Maharaj, he loved Baburam Maharaj. But the most probably after Thakur, he loves Baburam Maharaj. So one day he thought that Baburam Maharaj, there is no good photographer, no? So he asked some devotee, Bharat Maharaj asked some devotee to take a snap of Baburam Maharaj and to bind it and this and that. And Baburam Maharaj didn't know. One day somebody came and take some photographs. That's all. But he bound and then brought it to him. And then he was joyfully, it is bound very well and photograph is so beautiful. He came to show Baburam Maharaj. Then he said, Maharaj, see how you look nice here in this photograph. He said, he spitted on that photograph and said, do you think this body, you are adorning this body? And he threw into the Ganga. And he was so upset. He spent so much money and so much effort. It is not like today that you can get it so easily. So you have to find a good photographer to bind her and this and that. Then he was so upset. But it was that time there's already into the waters. Then as the water subsided, he employed another person to find that photograph, that where he can found, and ultimately he found. And he said that that was the photo which was hanging in the veranda of Maharaj, that where he used to sit. So that Maharaj, look at the spirit of Baburam Maharaj. Yes, seeing his own photo, we get happy, no? Oh, I look so good, no? But when that photograph was shown, he said, he spitted on that and said, this is photograph. Take Thakur's. What is this? This rascal. So, thank you so much. Jai Ma, Jai Ma. So, thank you all for coming. And just whatever came in my memories. I was not very intelligent person. I could have memorized much stories, but there are so many things really from these holy people. But some memory, people with good memory could have kept much more treasures. We are thankful to Swami Chetananandaji. He is bringing out whatever. He has a collection of such notes. I used to keep some notes. But where the notes are gone now, I do not know. But yeah.
Mohan, at that time, the local market was in Shalkia Horban Bazar.
Salkia.
So there was no
No in between Belur Bajar.
Oh,
Belur Bajar didn't.
No existence.
No. In early days, you can imagine. It is talking about Baburam Maharaj in early days, no? And they used to go only By a boat, crossing the boat to Baranagar Bazaar, that was little available, and or the Salkia.
Hardware Bazaar.
Yeah, yes. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you, Swami.
Oh. Come back soon, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Mother willing. Mother willing.
It's 5 o'clock.